At 9 a.m. on May 2nd, 2024, Gary Lynn, the detective lieutenant at Horry County Police over the Homicide, Special Victims, and Property Crimes Units, emailed the Robeson County Sheriff's Office, the agency investigating Mica's death, to tell them he needs to speak with them about a death investigation in their jurisdiction, which we know is Mica's. May 2nd is another one of those major dates in this story, where it appears like JP's entire world was erupting. And it also happened to be the day that Mica's body was cremated at JP's request. May 2nd was 5 days after Mica's death and 4 days after JP told his congregation at Solid Rock that his 30-year-old wife Mica died in a bizarre announcement that quickly took the internet by storm. This is before Robeson County publicly declared Mica's death a suicide or publicly revealed any details of Mica's movements on the day of April 27th. May 2nd is the day that Sierra Francis, Mica's sister, filed her Bombshell probate documents, accusing JP of abuse throughout his marriage to Mica. The file outlined a trail of breadcrumbs for reporters like us to follow that would reveal shocking police reports, 911 calls, and medical records that painted a picture of J.P. Miller that he did not want the world to see. So what was this email about exactly? The only thing for sure that it tells us is that an official at Horry County had information to give Robeson County about Mica's death investigation on May 2nd, and that's merely interesting considering the chain of events that also occurred in JP's life on May 2nd. On the afternoon of May 2nd, JP was apparently panicking as the spotlight on him and his businesses was shining much brighter and harsher than he had ever imagined. May 2nd is the day of that infamous Crocodile Rocks meeting that YouTuber Robbie Harvey somehow got a hold of the tape. In the tape, which we cover in great detail in episode 76, JP oddly over-explained the events that he said led to Mica's death during a meeting with his business partners that took place at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. The recording revealed that JP clearly knew more about Mica's death than the police had revealed at the time. And it showed how frequently JP lied about important details of Mica's mental health. And it also just showed his true colors. It was the only time that we have seen JP saying that he was sorry for Mica's death, but he wasn't sorry for what happened to her. He was sorry for what her death was doing, that her death was bringing negative publicity to Crocodile Rocks. And by the way, isn't it a little strange that a pastor was a part owner of a bar where there's likely a large amount of cash flowing through it? Huh. So, after that meeting, it appears that JP was still panicking and apparently enlisted Trisha Ross, his churchy business wingwoman, who happens to also be a convicted criminal, to email Heather Wilson's boss at Horry County Police. At 6:30 p.m. on May 2nd, Trisha emailed Captain Strickland. And guys, I cannot paraphrase this due to the level of absurdity and the audacity that I just can't convey.
Captain Strickland, respectfully, sir, we would kindly ask you to look into some things for us. As you are aware, there is a lot going on due to the unexpected death of our pastor's wife, Mica Miller. We are very concerned about the connections Heather Wilson has directly with the case, and the fact that she is sharing things through texting that pertain to her suspicions that our pastor, quote, pushed her to suicide, end quote. This is unethical as a police officer, to show bias with something that is not in the court system yet. In addition, the pastor's private investigator was able to find Heather's son kissing and touching the pastor's wife. We have admissions as well to that contact. Heather has since threatened Pastor not to use her son's name. She has sent text messages to Pastor stating all his faults and a manipulated prayer with it. We do love Heather, But it's very concerning that as a police officer, she is sharing with others her suspicions, along with pictures. Slashed tires, which have never been liked to the pastor. Of course, people that see Heather sharing things as a police officer takes that for truth. My dad was a police officer, and I'm pretty sure her actions are not ethical.
Again, we have to break this down because it is wild. First of all, notice how Trisha says this isn't in the court system yet. What were her and JP anticipating to be in the court system exactly? Mica died in North Carolina, so why would any of this concern Horry County? Next, we have the texts that Trisha is talking about, and we are going to share them, slightly redacted, with premium members and on another episode, because it is entirely too much. In a nutshell, sometime before Mica's death, Trisha texted Heather a 3-page text, all in one paragraph, berating Heather for believing her son who was accused of kissing/having an affair with Mica, which we've discussed in a previous episode, over JP and turning her back on the church. Trisha wrote, quote, "I don't think you would want anyone in your marriage nor your son's if he was marriage." I think she meant married. She said, "God hates troublemakers." And she said, "That's what I feel this is. Talking about God's anointed is a sin." End quote. God hates troublemakers. You hear?